the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Lining up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed. Skipping out, no, I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Friday Night, guys. It's just a progressive TV show. I am your host, Marlon, along with Theus Robinson, and it's been a while since we've been on. So I think we're just gonna chill tonight. We're gonna look into some subjects, get it from a male point of view, see what Theus thinks on a couple of things. Yeah, we just gonna chill out. But before we even get to that, I have a special guest coming on. Didn't even tell Theus, but I have a special guest coming on. Yo,
Special.
Dad.
I mean, what's going on,
man?
Marlon? How you doing this evening? How are you? It's like
Doing
short bus
good, man.
special or like special?
Say that one more time.
I said like short bus special or like
Oh,
really special.
No. Well, now some of these people, yeah, you see my show, so some of these people, you know, you kind of.
I understand.
Kind of look at them sideways.
Get with
So what's going on with you, man? How's your day going?
nothing much. Dude, today was great. Actually, we celebrated our Thanksgiving today because I was busy yesterday, so I'm in ready to go to bed mode. This is like 9 o'clock. I'm already showered. I'm like ready to go to bed. So we're gonna talk for a couple minutes.
All right.
I feel you, dog. I'm already sleepy.
Man, I was cooking for 2 days, 2.5 days. Then I did all of I ran around and delivered all the food I had to cook. Well, that I cooked, and then today I worked, and you know, like I said, I cooked today for my family. So,
Oh, that's what's
I'm
up.
ready to-
Yeah, I ain't cooking.
ready to sleep.
No, I'm not cooking.
I ain't cooking, man.
Marlon, you said your sister-in-law, right, cooked?
Yeah, but apparently my wife has decided to put out there, and it's going to fall flat on its face, that next year the men should do all the cooking. I don't think that's going to work. I'm just going to let you know.
Look, I already know what I'm cooking if I'm cooking. So
And I think that's the issue that I'm going to have, and then we're going to get on to the show. The issue that I really don't want to do it is because if we agree to it, then I have a strange feeling that she's going to pick what it is that she want me to cook, and it's like
it is what it is. You know, you get what you get, and you're not going. You know, you wanted me to cook. This is what I'm cooking.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just going to stick to that. So, without further ado, let's get this party started. So this first
Man, you
story,
fancy.
I try to be. So this first story,
Don't
I
count yourself.
wanted to play it because I know what the initial thought everybody's going to have is plastered there. It's going to be a certain thought that you're going to have, and I have a certain same thought on it, but for a different reason. So and y'all will understand what I mean after I finish playing it. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Really? Am I the butthole for telling my son that he is the reason me and his mother are getting divorced? I know upon reading the title alone, many of you will just call me a butthole, and you might be right, but I want to explain myself first. My wife and I have been together since we first met in high school. We were able to maintain a long-distance relationship throughout college and stayed true to each other. I truly thought we were inseparable. She gave birth to a boy 12 years ago, and since then, things changed drastically. My son, unfortunately, has behavioral problems, and it's been very difficult raising him. He throws temper tantrums, gets in trouble in school frequently, and refuses to listen to my wife and I. As a result, my wife and I started having disagreements about how we should handle him. That is, whether we should punish him more or let him get his anger out, etc. This created a wedge between us that kept getting wider. We both resorted to drinking more and wanting to be away from each other as much as possible to get some relief. We started having more arguments, and eventually it became so obvious that our marriage was deteriorating that family members started questioning it. So the topic of divorce came up, and we both decided to go through with it. When I first told my son about it, he cried endlessly, then started throwing fits about how unfair it was. I completely understand that a divorce is hard on a child, but the intensity of his fits kept growing. Since my wife and I are separated, not yet divorced, and because she can't tolerate our son that much, we agreed that he gets to spend much of his week with me, unfortunately. So I see him a lot, and I have to put up with his yelling far more than she does. Last Friday, he started asking if my wife and I forgave each other, and I told him that the divorce is happening like it or not. He starts crying, and I got mad and told him, "Buddy, wanna know why we're getting divorced? Because of you. We were happy before you were born, but you always act badly and get in trouble. So stop arguing with me when you caused it. You have nothing but yourself to blame." This devastated him, and I did apologize, but I told him there was some truth to what I said. However, since then, he's been more quiet and behaved, and even my wife, who was with him over the weekend, said he was so much better. So, yeah, I think that I'm the butthole for telling him he was the reason we're getting divorced, but in some ways, I don't think I am, because maybe it was just something he needed to hear.
All right, I'm gonna let the new guy in first on this.
I knew you was about to do that to me. Throw me on the bus. Normally when you have a guest, you kind of just let them sit and observe first before
Nah.
you throw them directly under the bus and into the fire.
Not on this show.
So here's my thing, right? So as much as I can empathize with the truth that this man told this child, the child was still a child. Now that's me as a parent, right? Saying that. But in his situation, he probably is at his wit's end. And that is what he felt was right in that situation. Because you never know how you're going to act when you are the one in that situation. Now I'm sure he gave us a really high level understanding of what they have been dealing with. But that probably doesn't give you the ins and outs of exactly what they're dealing with. And I mean, is he really the a-hole, or was he just to that point where he said, "You know what? Let me keep it 100 with you and tell you what the problem is." Now, the crux of that whole situation is the father told the son, "You're the reason, and this is why," and explained it to him like he was an adult. And the son was like, "Oh, it's me. Like there's something wrong." But if the son is doing better, was it really all that bad? But even though the son is doing better, that's only going to be temporary until the son forgets that he's the reason why. I mean, we all know that, somebody's going to act right when they got the camera looking at them, or when they're under the microscope. But as soon as it goes back to normal, they're gonna go back to normal too.
This?
Mm.
Very eloquently put, my brother.
But
But
Well, a couple things. First of all, the child ain't the reason why they getting divorced. Their inability to effectively manage the relationship of being a parent and a spouse is why they are getting a divorce. So he might have been at his wit's end and said something that was human, but you don't get that luxury when you're talking to your child. You know what I mean? Like, the kid's not behaving better. The child's broken. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you break somebody's spirit for a minute, yeah, they're gonna seem like they better behave because it's easier for you to control them. Ain't nothing to control. It's kind of like when your kid, you know, you put your child on ADHD medicine when they didn't really need it. Guess what? You're gonna be like, yo, my kid is so much better behaved. No, your kid is doped up. This child is going through some version of depression. They already were anyway, right? So
hold on. Can I pause you for 1 second and just interject something? If so, and this is coming from my wife, who is in pharmaceuticals. She's a chemist. So if someone takes an ADHD medicine and they are better behaved, that means that medicine is actually working.
no, it's a
ADHD
chemical
medicine is
reaction.
counter.
It's designed to be a chemical reaction. It's doing what it's supposed to do.
I'm getting there. Hold on. It's counterintuitive. ADHD medicine is an upper. Look it up.
It's pretty close to methamphetamine.
If your brain is functioning at a higher level, when you give yourself an upper, it dumbs you down. So if the medicine did not work and calm them down, they didn't need it. Basically, if me, who's someone who does not need ADHD medicine, takes it, I'm gonna be on a high. That's why people take ADHD medicine when they don't need it, because it makes them high unless they are high. You know, their brain is functioning faster. I'm telling you, it's counterintuitive. And again, the only reason I know that is because my wife is a chemist and she worked on the formulation for Adderall. All right. Game on.
Right, and I know that some people use Adderall as a replacement for like a cocaine type of experience or a methamphetamine experience. I get that.
Because it's
I also get
not
that
over the counter, but it can be
is overprescribed and overutilized. But and we ain't got to agree though. That'd be a whole different show.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my first time meeting you, so I'm,
yeah.
But I appreciate the perspective you just shared there. But going back to my original point, look, breaking a child, that's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Effective parenting, you could have had a similar conversation without saying that child was the reason why you're getting divorced, right? The reason you're getting a divorce is because you couldn't adequately parent. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You and your wife never found the whatever it is, because every kid's different. You know, this child, one thing this person never said was if they attempted to do any counseling, if they attempted any intervention. He just kept saying the child got behavior problems. Okay, well, what you doing to manage that? Well, we were thinking about maybe we should punish them some more. Or maybe we should let them get the hang out. The hell? Okay. That's some base level stuff, and I know you work with the toolkit that you have. But that's not good enough. I'm sorry. I mean, everybody kid is different, you know, and I'm raising mine, and I work with young people, but I'm sorry that he is an asshole for that part right there. Now, the other part was two adults recognizing that they're not going to be able to effectively do this thing. And so to that point, I think they made a mature decision. They were obviously dysfunctional because they were saying people outside of the relationship were noticing that they weren't right. He even said they were both self-medicating to try to, you know, get through it. So, sorry.
Well, then I guess my answer ain't different, because that was my answer was, old boy can sit here and the boys attitude and everything is maybe a cause, but because you didn't want to put in the work to stop that cause, it's not on that boy.
I mean, what's gonna happen to the kid?
It's just not on that boy. Thea's put it a lot. You punish. That's not working. What else can you do? I'm gonna go get drunk. Okay, now you with you did, bro. That ain't got nothing to do with the kid. That ain't got nothing to do with the kid. You self-medicating. How that gonna make the boy act better? I'm just curious. How is that gonna make anybody other than you feel better, or to some extent, because I have some knowledge about this, to some extent, you getting drunk is just to make the day go a little faster.
That's what I'm thinking.
Sleep through it, dream through it, whatever.
But I think they're using the child like as a. The word "prop" is not the proper term. Excuse maybe.
There's a reason,
right? Something that'll allow you to not really get at what's wrong, because you weren't drinking because you needed to break from the child's behavior problems, not from how he laid out his story. You were drinking because you need to be away from her. So, in all of this, where does the kid come out? I mean, I'm just saying, you leave, and she can't manage him. How does the kid? What happens with the kid?
And the funny thing about it is the last part. I'll let you back in, Dash. Hold on. The last part. Hey, I forgot what I was going to say. The last part was that, he's acting correctly.
Better.
Yeah. He's acting better.
Temporary.
He's acting better.
But
he's still going to get a divorce. So what do you think was going to happen after y'all get the divorce?
Well, see, I back to I won't say back to, but Kim kind of, I won't say agrees, but it sounds like she's in a similar vein. In the comments, she says, wait. I don't think he broke his son. He did shake up his world a little bit. Sometimes kids need that. And if the parents have tried everything else, maybe this was the final straw. And that's what I'm saying. You don't know exactly what he's been through. You don't know exactly what's going on. He only gave you a high level understanding to try and bring you into the situation. And I really think, even though it wasn't, I mean, again, you never know how you were going to personally react in that situation. If you were like, you know what, I've tried to talk to you, I've tried to be nice, I've tried to do this, I've tried to do that. Let me hit you with an ounce of reality or an ounce of tough love, and it seems to have worked. But I think a lot of people's knee-jerk reaction is, we need to treat this child as a child, but the child isn't acting like a child, or at least the child isn't behaving as a child should. The child is acting out, and the child is doing other things, and if it's behavioral, if it's for attention, if it's for whatever, in my opinion, maybe this shock to the child's system it might be what he needed. And of course there's usually never any follow-ups with those ask Reddit type questions. So unless you are following the story or what have you, you never know, and it's always an open-ended imagine what happened type situation. So, but
I feel you there, man.
I mean, I'm a big devil's advocate player there, and
I'm the devil don't need no help, but I'm just saying. But I feel you though, because I do believe you should always look at everything from multiple angles. Otherwise, you get pigeonholed and you miss something. So I feel you.
Three sides to the story. His side, that side.
I'm already
Why
biased.
is that? Why are you biased?
Any man who put his business out on Reddit like that, I've already lost a great deal of respect for you anyway, partner.
But did he put his business on Reddit, or did he just tell a situation? Because what identifying information is there?
It ain't about your identifying situation, man. If the story is true, hold up, Marlon. If the story is true, you as a man who can't manage your own damn house went and put a scenario of your house in the streets. Now, that part is
this
where
man
I'm
is
buying.
seeking help. He's
Is
seeking help.
he?
Why can't you respect him? Yes. Why can't you respect him for saying? Why can't you respect him for saying?
The deal is this: Everybody is not going to have the answers. They're not going. They just don't. They just won't.
Y'all legit saying that you think people go to Reddit for legit advice, and that's good. And that's good.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, here's the
Man,
thing.
all right. So hey, cool. I'm not here to fight with my brothers.
Listen,
I just don't agree with that
listen
shit.
to this.
That's not.
No. Listen to this. Listen. Because here's the thing, right? If you have 10 friends,
Yes.
6 of your friends might say the same thing.
Yes.
3 of your friends might disagree and give you 3 different perspectives. Yeah. You go to the internet and you go to Reddit because Reddit is a safe space, okay? And it is safe because it's, people go on there anonymously and semi-anonymously. But the whole thing is, the man, he says, you know what? Am I wrong? Okay, am I the asshole? Right? And that's what that whole Ask Reddit, you lost respect for the man because he's going to get help. He's seeking help.
See, you twisting it. All right. You want to get help. I think, hold up, partner, because you're going to come at me. Let's go with it. I'm saying that if you want to get help, there are actual ways to get help, right? And of those, me personally, because I did say I'm biased, right? I did say I'm coming at this from a biased position. Me personally, running up at the whole wide internet, don't nobody know you, care nothing about you, and you're not even giving them nothing really to work off anyway. That's just you venting, okay? Let's just be real. You're venting, and that's cool. Venting can be healthy, but I'm not seeing this as reaching out for help. I'm seeing this maybe as inventing, and inventing, in my view, a kind of irresponsible way, similar to how he was irresponsible with his 12-year-old child. It's a 12-year-old. He didn't say the child was out robbing liquor stores and knocking over old ladies. He said the child had behavior issues. There are counselors. There are doctors. There are elders in your own family. If you're a religious person, you go tie in with the church. But you isolate this to people who have a certain level of judgment that you feel you can respect or look up to. That cannot exist in a completely wide open message board, because people who come in there, some people have dark thoughts and they will play with you. Some people will try to push you over the edge just to do it. And then some people are very helpful. And they're all in there.
But what if he doesn't have access to any of those above things you stated?
No.
Listen. What if he lives in a community where those things are shunned, and he could get ousted and put out by just talking that he's having a problem with his child or his wife or any of that situation? Going to an anonymous safe space might have been his only option. If he doesn't have insurance to go to a doctor, if he doesn't have a religious, background or somewhere to go, if he doesn't have an elder that he trusts to talk to about the situation,
so he got a couple issues anyway. Now we're talking about, I'm going to take all the layers you just put in this scenario. You just put all these layers into this to narrow the scope, so we can narrow the discussion a little bit.
But I'm just trying to give some validity to the fact that he reached out on Reddit, and I'm not knocking the man down. Just like, so, I don't know. I don't know if you can see this. I do barbecue, right? And my whole thing is this: people poo-poo on other people's barbecue, right? When they say, "Oh, you have the teeny little cheap little, smoker," they want to belittle it. But my thing is this: they are cooking outside, or they are doing barbecue that can lead to something else. So I'm not going to belittle how he went to seek the help, or he was like, you know what, maybe it's me. Let me go here. But Marlon,
you're assigning a positive. I get it. You're coming at it from a positive. What do you call it? Giving him the most courteous benefit of doubt, and I'm coming from a much darker perspective. So because for me, I'm all about this kid, and I'm like, the stuff that he laid out in his little scenario, ain't asking for help, dog. It's just gonna spiral some more.
But let me say this real quick, Theus. You gave excellent advice. He could have sought counseling. He could have went to a religious, if he was religious
leader. Yeah,
he could have went to legal advice. Any of those things.
Run them Reddit comments and let me see all that good stuff.
However, Theus, you're on a YouTube video giving the exact same advice that somebody on Reddit could have been giving the exact same advice to him.
Okay.
You are the you.
And I'm a guest, and I'm well, not a guest. I'm part of your show. Yeah, I got you. I'm with you.
So when somebody comes to you
Uh-huh.
and asks you for advice,
Uh-huh.
what do you say to them?
Depends on what they're asking me. And you've been on damn near every show I've been on. So who has asked me for advice? And then when I do give advice, how do I present it to them, Marlon? I walk them through it in a certain way, and I'm doing it on video, right? But am I doing this on a wide open message board? No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry. I get where you guys are coming from. I'm not daft, right? But what I'm saying is, as a parent with a child who has a struggle, and then you also have your own set of struggles. Because see, when he was laying out his story, he's got more on his plate than just his child having a behavior issue. Right? Anybody who's been through a heavy breakup or anything like that, that's some heavy stuff.
Let me back up just a little bit. Now, you're correct, but I just want to add one thing to it. The thing that he had on his plate was his kids' behavior. The rest of that stuff, he added.
It's still on his plate. If you and your wife are not doing well to the point that you're avoiding each other, see, that was one, to me, that was an important part of his story, because it wasn't just how much they're both struggling with their son, it's also how much they're struggling with each other. That's a marital problem. And that can break your heart and twist your spirit in so many ways, which will then make you even less capable of addressing the actual needs that your child has.
So let me ask you this question then real quick. I'm going to ask both of y'all.
I mean, y'all want to cape for Reddit. I'm not against it. I'm just saying this is my perspective.
No, I'm removing Reddit. But let me ask you this question about this dude.
Yeah.
Hypothetically. I know it's going to be rough hypothetically thinking this, because like I said, I can't give this dude too much of an out. So what if the child wasn't there at all?
What do you mean?
Would that marriage still work out?
Maybe not, because it sounds like part of their issues, because now we're going to do hypothetically, there's no child, but they're still in this position where the relationship isn't going very well. He's drinking and she's drinking, because I think he said they're both drinking. Yeah. They're avoiding each other, right? That if that's existing, minus having the child scenario altogether, then you're right back at the marital issue. You're right back in the compatibility problem, which was what I was trying to illustrate. But then the child, to me, is more important than even that, right? Because sometimes you need to separate the family unit if it's going to be better for everyone's mental and emotional stability.
All right, we're gonna.
And that's hard for me to say, because you know how I feel about getting divorced.
I know. No, I don't know.
Well, I could tell you, but it'd be a while.
No. I only know one thing I know the only thing that you really despise, and I'm not even gonna bring it up because I know that gonna be a big.
It's not hair color, Marlon.
Man, we ain't even finna start with that, bro.
Man, you see how they went in on me on some hair color, dog? Bruh, they went in on me on some hair color, man.
Why?
That Dash don't.
They missed my underlying point. No, they missed my underlying
point.
It's a side
don't take the bait.
I know. I already said I'll bite. What is the underlying, like when I write my license and like different things, I write my hair color is bald. So, I mean,
you know what? I don't think about it. I mean, if I have the option, I do bald as well. I'm with you there. I don't know. But I think if bald wasn't on the form, I would still put black, because back when I had hair, that was the color of it.
I've been too busy to shave my head.
It would be nice
if you
introduce your guest. Mickey, I did introduce
I'm a-
my guest. I apologize that you wasn't here on time. Speaking to you like we in school. It is not my fault that you was not in class on time, ma'am.
Now, Marlon, remember
Hey,
when
Mickey.
you were talking to us about how you talk to people when they late to class? That was not very nice, Marlon.
Okay, that dude was an a-hole, man. I'm sorry, but Dash, we have like 150 something shows where we can remember just some of the dumbest parts of some of the dumbest people on here. So you'll get the hang of it. Trust me, we did it to Anna, and Anna caught on really, really quickly. Cause but-
Dash is cool, man. No, bruh. I'm not talking like you ain't even here, bruh. You a cool cat.
Dash
I've seen a couple of your videos,
Oh,
and
well,
I like
thank
the
you.
way your brain works. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying?
I'm
Mad
outside of the
props.
box thinker.
You know what I'm
And one
saying?
of the
Mad
things
props
about
to you.
Dia-
But I'm, you know,
Thank you.
I'm gonna stand my ground, and I'm gonna talk my shit. You know what I mean? But
Oh,
nah, I love the
listen,
way your
bruh,
brain
I
thinks,
can-
bro. It's good.
I can dish it just as well as I can take it, and I mean, your opinion is your opinion. You know, just like my opinion is my opinion, and
All
I don't
facts.
know. I try to
Well, all true.
I try to be a little more positive until someone, I won't say, innocent until proven guilty. So again, I try to I operate in gray. Let's put it that way. How about that? So
Yeah,
I just
I
like
try
the
to be
fact-
more positive, except for, and I've told Marlon this so many times. I hate these Reddit things. I hate them. So I'm already
See-
coming in kind of,
So here's a little bit of backstory, right? I actually enjoy listening to a lot of those Reddit stories and the things that are brought up, because malicious compliance and am I the asshole, or I like all of those Ask Reddit things. Like, I will, as opposed to listening to podcasts and other things like that, I listen to those things when I'm driving. So I'm a fan. I am a fan of Reddit to an extent, but Reddit is one of those places where, just like anything, the worst people of the internet congregate, and it is what it is, and people feel emboldened. So they feel emboldened. I live in many shades of gray. Okay, Kim. All right.
everything is it truly is. Everything is not black and white. Be honest
agree.
with you, I totally think you would live in my opinion, again, since this is the opinion show, either way, it's just a freaking miserable existence to me. If you're always seeing the good, the happy, the great, the wonderful of some of the most tragic things that happens in this country, aka the world too, come on, somewhere along the lines you're going to break down. At the same time, oh my God, stop being so freaking miserable on everything. I grew up on that. I grew up on, man, I got a job. Yeah, you're happy now until they take the taxes out your check and then you got the paper. Like, bruh, seriously, you
Let me be happy
really,
for
you
a
got
minute.
out
Yeah.
your way to find something bad about every freaking thing.
But
Like-
you know what? There's those people that is the only thing they
Some people find
Some
joy in
people's-
misery, dog.
exactly. Yep.
Well, they're
Misery and
miserable.
pain. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like
Pleasure
this-
and misery.
That's why
But
so much entertainment, in my view, which is why I cut out so much entertainment. But so much entertainment circles around like negativity. Like it draws attention, because on a certain level you want to feel like, as bad as you may have it, maybe somebody got it worse.
Else had
And
worse.
to
Yeah.
me, that's like when you watch most of the movies, TV shows, even some of the music, depending upon the genre, it's like you're like, well, at least I ain't got it like that. You know, I don't like that's unfortunate.
But didn't we
So,
talk about this
but-
earlier? That I think we talked about this earlier this year. That I really want to take these people aside and go, but you do understand that the only way for you to feel better about yourself or your situation or whatever is to find somebody who's at a lower state than you. So not being mean. I'm because I would never tell this to somebody. I'm just saying it on the show just to say it on the show. You still suck. Your life existing right now still sucks. Somebody's life may be suckier than yours, but that's not going to raise your suckiness. You still live a suck-ass life, dude. So I'm sorry if the only way you feel better for yourself is to find somebody who's worse than you, but nothing about your
Marlon,
life
sometimes
changed.
you can't. Marlon, sometimes you can't see that. When you're this close, you got to step back and look at the big picture, and a lot of times people can't do that. That's why I take sometimes an outside, opinion or an outside voice to say, hey, let's take a step back and let's evaluate that. So yeah, I have a question for Tracy. Is her hair white or is it gray though? Because there's a. Tracy said, so we're talking about hair colors. You don't answer Tracy.
That it's gray.
I don't answer Tracy questions because
she said so. If we're talking about hair colors, the lady with the white hair takes the fifth. So that's why I was asking. Is her hair white or is it gray?
Inside joke. There was a guy who just was infatuated with her, and that's how he referred to her.
Oh, with the white hair.
Yeah, he didn't last long.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, he got kind of inappropriate too quick.
He got really close really fast, and we
all right.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to the next story. Sticking to the theme of Theas and talking to the gentlemen out there. All three of the uncles are on here. We're gonna talk to these men who don't have anybody in their life. So and this one is about, hey, you know what? You need to while everybody is concentrating on the creepy guys and the creepy men and all this and everything, I just want to let you know there are some creepy women out there. So the question of this next video was, men, what was the creepiest women you ever met? Here's this one guy's reply.
I met a girl online. She seemed normal enough, so we ended up going out for a drink. I found out that night that she actually lived an hour away in a rural town, but whatever. Well, we went out, had a drink, then went to go play pool. We drove over in my vehicle, and when we got to the pool hall, she checked her phone and saw that she had a text from her ex-boyfriend. She proceeded to cry incessantly. I was trapped. I didn't know what to do. So I offered to take her back to her car. She said she wasn't sure if she could drive, and she asked if I would take her home. I declined, saying it wouldn't be a good idea because A, her car was like a mile away. B, she lived an hour away. C, how in the hell did she plan to get to her car the next day? So she agrees for the night to end, all the while apologizing vigorously. The next day she texts me, apologizes, and offers to buy me lunch. She seemed alright when we were getting to know each other, and I was bored, so I figured what the hell and gave her another shot. She brought her kids to the lunch. When I saw them get out of the car, I texted her and said that it wasn't okay for me to meet them. She became irate and said her sitter canceled at the last minute. Even though the drive was an hour long from her house, she didn't find it important to ask if it would be weird for her kids to come. It was at this point that I stated I was no longer interested. Now for the creepy part. 2 days later she texted me, but I didn't respond. She kept at it and kept asking if I wanted to go out for the next weekend. After multiple texts, I messaged her and said that I wasn't interested and I had plans to take my friend out for her birthday. This resulted in even more irate messages about how she wasn't comfortable with me going out with other girls, and so forth. This resulted in her getting blocked. Turns out, she took a guess on where we would go since there's only one nightclub in town, and she showed up. I had to tell the birthday girl that I was leaving and to call me when she was ready to go. My night was ruined. Birthday girl got home okay in case you were wondering. But wait, there's more. A couple of weeks after that, there was an ice storm and power had gone out in the area. I ended up going over to a friend's house to hang out since they had a generator. We were playing cards and enjoying ourselves. Suddenly, I get a text from a number I didn't recognize. "Are you alright? I'm really worried," the message read. "I'm fine. Who is this?" I replied. "It's the creepy girl," she responded. I ignored it and put my phone down. The next message sent chills down my spine. I'm really worried. I'm standing outside your house and all the lights are off. Are you sure you're okay? She had never been to my house, and I had never given her my last name. My final message before blocking her involved not contacting me or I'd call the police. It turns out she was a secretary or something for a police department, and she ran my tag and found out where I lived. Drove over an hour to my house in the midst of an ice storm. Then got a new number also she could check up on me.
You said I'm supposed to play the role of an uncle?
We got a term for that. It's bad shit crazy.
Yeah, all the way through this story, I'm trying to find ways to find a redeemable part to the story. Now,
Redeemable part of the
I've been out the game for a long time. Been with the same one for about 20 years. So my dating knowledge is prehistoric. So you had already kind of lost me. I met this girl online. Said I can't quite relate to that. But anyway,
Hey, Anna.
Hey Adam. He did the things that he was supposed to do. I would say.
I'll give you that one. Yeah.
At one point, I wanted to say that you knew that she had to drive an hour out of her way to get there. And so her showing up with the kids, while that right there would be completely off-putting, you could be, she already there, right? So you could be courteous and tell her that I'm not interested, this can't go any further. But the text message that she's pulling up, I don't see how that helps anything because she's there, you know? So, but that's like minuscule in relation to all the other stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I want to say it's against some kind of policy for you to run somebody's tags like that.
Yeah, that got to break up the rule.
Huh?
I said that got to be against some type of
I'm
rule.
pretty sure it is.
You running just to get a name so you can drive an hour in a ice storm to be outside somebody. Man, I'm about with Dash on this one, man. This chick is nuts. There's
no further explanation that's necessary. I'm telling you, it sums up the whole thing. That shit crazy. There's too much. I mean, no
optimistic spin here from either one of you guys about like maybe she was abused by her ex-boyfriend and has attachment issues.
Yeah, but the attachment, there shouldn't have been an attachment because they were still in the getting to know you phase.
I feel you.
They were on the first date.
So it was like first date part 3.
The get to know you phase of it was cut in half.
Harley, I'm being silly because you know me. I feel like you can break up with anybody at any time. So that's
the getting to know you phase was cut in half. Like we could go back to what the fuck was that text message you got that you crying uncontrolled? What?
Ain't no telling. She could have had a crazy. If she got an ex-boyfriend, he probably dealt with her on some level crazy too. So he might have just said hi, and she started going into La La Land. She's damaged to goods, very, 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 very much.
Bruh, as your uncle, you did everything you're supposed to do. You got the hell up out of there as much as you possibly can.
And it's a small town, so it's a small town. There's a last thing though. Dash, check this out. Because it's a small town, right? What if? And she worked for the police department. what if her father or her uncle is a chief of police?
Well, so here's the thing, right? He lives an hour away from the small town where she lives. So that uncle or that chief of police is going to be an hour away. So hopefully he can get somebody that's in his local jurisdiction to not, be on the same side, as the uncle or the father, the brother, whomever that might have gotten her that job at the police department. But other than that, that's as positive as I'm gonna get on that one. Marlon,
I ain't got nothing on
we
this one, man.
man,
We're gonna go on to the next one.
I'm fading, so I got you. You probably got another good 10 minutes out of me before I fall asleep on camera because I'm done, dude.
I got you. So we're gonna move
All right.
on. We're gonna move on
Oh,
to the
man.
next crazy girl.
Waits. Hey, Blink. I had a nice time on our date, but I don't know if I felt a spark. Sorry to let you down, EXO. Yeah, no worries. Honestly, I felt the same, but I did have a nice time. Hope you enjoyed your coffee. WTF? Pathetic. Pretending you don't care just because you didn't get a chance with me? Lol. Effing man whore. I hope your next girlfriend gives you AIDS. Okay, I see I dodged a bullet. Have a wonderful evening.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Wait, you need to have your coffee cup and sit back with your. You got on burgundy too. That's crazy. You need a cup.
Well, Ron Burgundy.
Oh boy.
But yeah, but you know what though? All right, so now I'm gonna flip it on you. How often do we hear about, especially, I mainly interact within our community, but especially with our sisters who hear stuff about when they turn a dude down, he goes from being nice to all of a sudden she's all kinds of B's and H's and all of that stuff.
That's
so it just
true.
kind of seems
That's
like
true.
it's the same scenario. People who can't
Yeah.
stand, even though she let him down first, is the fact that he also felt the same way. So now she got to go and up it. I mean, people are just so
just
reckless
because
now,
you are
man.
an adult doesn't mean that they're not childish, and this seems childish. Period.
Yeah,
Because
childish can be dangerous though.
you hurt my feelings. That's why you're a whore. Okay, you're a man whore because you hurt my feelings. Whatever. It is what it is.
But you always have people who, and the only reason I even put this video up is because I knew where this chick was going, and men do it too. We didn't work out, so for me to feel better for myself, instead of going, it didn't work. Normal people, it didn't work out. On to the next.
They need to put
Normal
you down.
people would say that. No.
Yeah.
You have people who it didn't work out. So you need to be devastated and destroyed and on your hands and knees and cry your eyes out.
But why? But why,
jumping out
man?
windows
But why?
You know how you have that, always have that one upper? This is like the put down one upper. You put me down and you made me feel bad, so now I want to make you feel worse. I'm
Even
gonna
though
one up you.
You dropped me first.
Yeah. But you didn't feel, you weren't completely devastated enough. So I have to up the ante.
Yeah, I don't feel like you was really like destroyed.
I've encountered that back in my past, because I'm one of them people like I don't argue with folk, you know what I mean? So we break up. It's like it's done. Like no nothing. Just okay.
Well, I mean,
a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people need to have some level of friction
Closure,
to feel that they got through something. And I'm one of those people that's more like, okay.
I hate that word. Dash, I'm not putting it on
friction?
you, but closure.
Or closure.
What
people need it.
What is it? What is it?
It varies from person to person. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Man,
coming to a conclusion.
Some people
an
need
endpoint.
It,
the whole
stopping point.
Okay. My deal is going by normal again, okay, folks? Not these nut jobs out here. there's always some events that lead up to the breakup. You see it before it actually happens. It don't randomly just pop out of the blue. You can ignore it or you don't think it's a big deal, but you see the wheels turning and we're not compatible. Or
Not
at the very least, we're not compatible at the level that we are in our lives right now. So my question is always, so what is the closure if, like, no, I'm not even going to do that because I don't want Thea's going on a rant. So I'm going to bring up the hair thing again, but I'm not going to do it. So there are things that you can live with. There are things that they can live with. It's not at a certain level, whatever, we're finna break up because we're not at the level where we're comfortable to be in a relationship with each other. So again, where the hell is the closure? Like, there is no closure. There is nothing to discuss if all these events led up to you breaking up. The breakup was the freaking closure.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
I need an exit interview.
Here's an example.
Right.
Why we're not together?
If y'all haven't come to an agreement, y'all broke up. Yes, y'all broke up, but that doesn't mean that there was an amicable breakup, or that doesn't mean that there wasn't some unfinished animosity or unfinished business that had to happen. So yeah, not necessarily. I mean, there's always a point where you can come together and be like, okay, you know what? You turn left, I'm gonna turn right, and we're gonna keep walking. And that's what we agree upon. But if both parties don't agree, then there is no closure, in my opinion, for one or both parties.
Okay, I should have said that both of y'all agreed to break up.
Well, see, if it's amicable, you had your closure.
Yep, that's it.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Or you've agreed to let it go.
So
But
one is agreeing to it, the other one is no.
well, it's
or
like
on the
this.
fence
Okay,
at the
you're in a
least.
relationship with somebody. You've been dating each other in a what do you call it? Committed relationship.
Amicable? Okay.
Yeah, but you like it's just you and her, or you and him, or whatever the distinction of your relationship is.
Situation. Yeah.
Right? So, and then the thing I think a lot of times people miss is that as complicated as your life is, the other person's life is just as complicated, right? You do not have access nor rights to everything that's happening in the other person's brain or mind or heart. Like, they have a whole litany of experiences that brought them to you, and you have a whole bunch that brought you to them. So it could very well be that something you've been doing or something external to you has been drawing the other person away. And then you are not ready yet. In fact, you don't even know that the relationship is in serious trouble. Now, you might have thought you had a little argument or whatever, something, but it's just normal for you. But the other person just shut off. So the next time you have an interaction is that person saying, Marlon, I can't do this anymore. It's over. And then leaving, like just leaving. That can be hard for the person who did not see it coming, because now you're left alone with your thoughts. And that can be pretty tough. I often say, in the absence of information, you leave me with my imagination.
That could be, like Marlon would say, that could be worse.
But I'm saying, but that's where sometimes closure will matter.
I get what you're
like,
saying. I got it. I got it now.
But me, I think people overuse a desire for closure, because in some situations you ain't gonna get it no matter how hard you try. You're not gonna get the answer.
Because the only answer to some people is we back together.
It could be we back together, or who knows? Like, they can think or feel. I'm not even think. They can feel that there's something that can fix this, or at least make the breakup make sense. But they don't know what it is. They just feel that there's something, and that's going to be the closure they're chasing. You ain't magic. At least I'm not a magical person, so I may never have the answer. The only answer I have is the answer I have, right? And so closure is denied, and that can be very hard for some people. So I mean, I think people to put too much value on closure overall, but I can't dismiss the value of closure depending upon the situation. Because sometimes, man, you
That
need
was
to
a
have an understanding
cyclic
of what
statement
happened.
if I've ever heard one.
So what now?
That was a cyclic statement if I've ever heard one. I could understand the value of closure, but don't understand. Yeah, whatever you said, it
No,
was like,
Oh,
take it into two
yeah,
parts. No, you got to take it into two
yeah,
parts. I think people put too much value on it, but I understand
yes,
that sometimes people need it. That's
yeah,
not cyclical.
yeah.
It's simply saying
I,
that there's times you need
I
it.
wish I could go back. I wish I could go back and rewind what how it was just said. But neither
You're
here
supposed
nor
to.
there. I we anyway. I just Anna. Like I said, I'm fading. I want to Anna. So Anna said she could have her situation, her reaching out to her, her partner's family because she didn't have contact with her. You know, I know that when like my wife's family, they can't get in touch with her, they reach out to me. So I think that probably was fine. And if her partner had a problem with Anna, her family or whomever would have known. And they probably wouldn't have given you whatever information to say, oh, she's been deployed or oh, she's, taking care of this, taking care of that. They probably would have been like, leave her alone. She doesn't want to be bothered with you. So I mean, could it have been stalkerish? Yeah. But it wasn't this time.
I
This
don't think it
time.
was. I don't think that's
I missed. I missed. I
that
didn't read the
situation
comment
would
fast
not
enough.
be
But yeah.
stalkerish, but the analogy doesn't out of context is stalking. But since we know we always have that
Hindsight is
issue.
2020.
We don't have the enough contents to understand the end result of certain things. So we always, oh my God, that's so effed up. Then we get the context. It's like,
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
it wasn't
Yeah.
what I thought that was. So yeah, we got the context of this, and we know, okay. But if you took it out of context or any other situation, yeah.
And in many cases, it depends on the parties involved.
And yes.
Like I had an ex who called my mama because she couldn't reach me, and I had never introduced her to my mama.
Okay, that's creepy.
That was creepy.
That's pretty damn creepy. All right, folks, we are at the first hour of the show. Dash, thank you for being on the show.
Appreciate it, dog.
No problem.
Thanks for being in here. Thank you for
not
not backing down for nothing.
Nah,
You need more stuff like this.
I'm not gonna back down. I mean, my opinion is my opinion, and your opinion is your opinion. So, but I wish I could stay longer, but
technically, that's not actually true.
Your opinion is not your opinion.
No, your opinion is your opinion. His opinion is his opinion. My opinion is correct.
Hey, Dash, man, yo, it was appreciated. It was an awesome time interacting with you.
I was
bro.
about to. I was about to just cold drop. I was about to just cold drop. I was like, you know what? I can't. I was just about to like hit the end button, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna do Marlon better than that. I'm not gonna do that. Like, no.
Dude, you have absolutely no problem. You dropped me off your show. You had no problem with doing that.
I did. Nope. But I wasn't going to drop myself off of the show and give you the pleasure of, I won't say winning that. See, that would have been, no, I see right now, this is me. Like, because I could just be like, leave studio. But no, I'm going to sit here for another moment or so just to say, no, I was going to do that. I thought about it. Like, I looked like, wait, where's the thing to leave studio? Talking about my opinion is correct. No, oh, really? Click. That would have been funny, and I would have been remembered. Oh, that's the dude that dropped off when Marlon said he was right. Nope. Hey, Anna, thank you. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, well, you have a great evening too, everyone. It was nice to join you guys. I know every now and again I get into the comments, but these last couple of days have kicked my butt. So I am going to try to get some rest. I'm a medicate too. Or actually, here it is. I'm a medicate too, and
what you got there,
we're going
homie?
to sleep. You know what's in the jar.
Little something, something.
Marlon will
Alright.
tell you what's in
Alright.
what's in the jar.
It,
This
it-
one,
it is what you think it is. Let's put
Okay.
it like that. It
Okay.
is
This one-
what you
this-
think it is.
this one is a little purple corn mixed in with some yellow corn, and so it's a different type of yeast. It's 110 proof.
Oh
So
goodness. Okay.
it's plays no
I need to give
games.
you my- I need to
Them,
give you my
them days are behind me, man.
I'll take one for you then. Hey, here you go.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, you
Mm.
knock yourself out. So that's
the
our
plan.
first hour. We're going to roll up into the second hour. Dash, thank you so much for being on the show.
worries.
We will probably not see you until I have no idea because December's dates are not looking correctly. So I have no idea when I have Dash back on.
November and
Not a
December,
clue.
man. My calendar belongs to my wife.
December is
That's all I can
looking
say.
kind of funky looking. Let's put it to you that way. Them dates ain't dating.
All right.
But
Well,
I thank Dash for coming on.
if I can join for a few months, I'll definitely try.
All
All
right.
right. Thanks
I'll
again.
bring-
Hey,
I'll probably
go.
bring you
Hey,
on- I
wishing
can
you
always bring you on
continued
the main
success
show.
with your business, bro. Keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
yes, and
Appreciate you.
please, wait a minute. I ain't even got to do that. Hold
Yeah, you ain't even
up.
plug my man's business, man.
I surely
okay.
will.
Oh,
Please go to
well, thank
please
you.
go to his YouTube video, barbecue catering
Yeah.
info.
so
the man
Marlon, I don't know if
is-
you're following me. Are you on Instagram, Marlon?
Man, I
Okay.
look at
That's a no.
videos.
That's a negative.
Yeah.
So you could get a picture of what I did. So I'm gonna just break it down. In the past, Wednesday into Thursday. So between Wednesday and Thursday, I cooked 17 turkeys, 8 briskets, 5 salmon fillets, 3 legs of lamb, 10 wings, and then 2 racks of beef ribs. And then not only did I cook all of that food, I
Partridge
had
in a pear tree.
Yep. I had like 20 deliveries. And I if you look on my Instagram, you'll see I went from Southern Maryland all the way to Northern Maryland, driving around, dropping food off. It was like a 200-mile day, almost 6 hours driving. And that was from 8 o'clock until like 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So I am tired. I still have not caught up yet. I got like all of maybe 2 or 3 hours sleep between Wednesday at 2:30 a.m. and yesterday afternoon. So yeah. Anyway, all right. Thank you guys. Again, I will. I look forward to trying to hang out with you guys again, and more Reddit stuff. Definitely, that's awesome. I like it. So, all right. I'm going for real this time. All right.
And we will
Bye.
see you, and we're going to take our first break to reboot and refresh, and we will see everybody on the other side. Biz, you okay? Can you hang another hour?
Yeah, I'm chill, man.
Okay. We'll see y'all in 3 minutes.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it. It all might lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Till my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising. I'm soaring above it. It all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Higher to a bird. You, I'm rising. I'm soaring above it. It all. I just wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free.
We are back. So before we even get started, let me go ahead and pay these bills. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for Saturday Night Vibe, which is every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and also Radical Truth to Power on Sundays at 8 p.m. All right. Okay. Here we go. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media LLC. Help support Tracy at all her causes. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com Complex Mind. Help Diaz at all of his causes. Please do not forget to go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/Radical Truth to Power, exactly the way it's spelled, capital R, capital T, capital T, capital P. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliaEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And if you want to send me any videos, please send it to radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. Nailed it on the first try. Boy!
You got it, bro. You hit that one.
By the way, Tracy sent me a video. So,
Video for this weekend?
Yeah. Obligatory is Tracy fault.
Is she gonna be here for it, right?
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. 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 I'm not going into this by myself. No. No.
Please don't say,
Anna,
please
that
say
is
it's not the
name of
one though.
website. Say again.
Please, I hope it's not the one from earlier.
What was the one from earlier?
Babies.
No, absolutely not. I didn't even watch the whole thing. I literally did not watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I had to drop.
I heard Baby Kids, and I said, I'm not gonna watch this. I'm not. Everything ain't got to be freaking serious. It was a comedy. It was funny. It had a great ending. You already made a cartoon out of it. Move on with your life.
Yeah, what they did with this, that was bad.
But Anna, that is his that is his YouTube channel. Yeah. Another song I learned was singing some song words to. Another song that I learned I was singing some. Oh,
talking about your the intermission.
Oh, the wrong words to. Anna, I even got something worse. I have found myself when I'm doing my job, I actually start whistling one of those songs. And it's like, what am I doing? Like, it's a pretty good song, but Yeah. I get you, but yeah. Okay, Theus, let's go ahead and get into it. I got two more, then we'll get into I got one more, then we'll get into real or not that I had to break up into 3 segments because it's that long. I'm not obviously, of course, I'm not going to give you my answer, but anyway, I want to play this video because everybody knows that I take my videos from a certain r slash, and some of his answers at the end of "Am I the A-hole" and everything, not 9 out of 10 I agree with. It's a slight deviation from it. Sometimes it's like, I get what you're saying, but I mean I agree, but not for the reasons you think. So the only reason I'm going to play this video is because wholeheartedly disagree with him. Completely disagree with him.
Disagree with the
person who made the video. His answer. I can't agree with him. I get what he's saying, but that doesn't mean anything. You know, by this time, I get what you're saying. I get why you would say that. But I totally disagree. Yeah, this is one of them. I get what you're saying, and I understand, but this no. So let me play you the story first.
Like a surrogate? I'm a 29-year-old girl, and I dated this guy Joe, who's 30, for 3 months before he left me to go back to his ex, Kim, who's 30. Right after we broke up, I found out that I was pregnant, and now I'm at 24 weeks. I let Joe know, and he was ecstatic. It turns out that his other girlfriend, Kim, has fertility issues and would likely never be able to get pregnant naturally, and he's always wanted to be a father. Getting back together was out of the question for both of us, so Joe is still with his girlfriend. Joe was only allowed at the initial ultrasound because of COVID, and we found out that I was having twins. According to Joe, when he told Kim about the twins, she had a mental breakdown about her infertility and wanted to talk to me. I met them at their house, and Kim stated that she wanted to be involved in my pregnancy because she would eventually be the children's stepmother. She started telling me that I had to do a home birth, that I needed to formula feed so that they could have the babies half the week, that she wanted one boy and one girl, and that she wanted the kid to call her Mama since they would be calling me Mommy. I shut her down and said that I would make the best choices for my kids and my body, and I left. Kim continues to be overbearing and texted me every day about my eating habits, exercise habits, and complaining about how her job won't let her take maternity leave. When I attended the genetics counseling appointment, Kim attended instead of Joe, and she took over the whole meeting, trying to talk about her family history, which was not relevant. When it came time for my 20-week scan, they allowed me one guest, and Joe suggested I take Kim instead of him, which I refused to do. Joe ended up coming, and he found out the gender because I wanted it to be a surprise so I could have a gender reveal party. I put a pregnancy announcement on my social media, and then Kim put up an announcement saying they were expecting twins the non-traditional way and how blessed she was. I was irritated, but I kept my mouth shut. Then, Kim threw a gender reveal party and posted it on social media, and I wasn't even invited. She also announced that she's having a baby shower. I commented on her post and told her to stop treating me like a surrogate, that the kids were not hers, and that Joe didn't have any claim or custody of the kids until they were born. I then called Joe and reiterated all of this and stated that I would not be seeing either of them until we went to family court, and that my mother would be my birthing partner. Joe, Kim, and some of her friends and family are saying that I'm the butthole, and her mother even called and insisted that I give her one of my babies, like this is Parent Trap. And then OP posted an update. The Thursday I posted this, I went to the cops, and they said there was nothing they could do because a crime hadn't been committed. In my state, orders of protection can be either criminal or family, so I was able to get one against Joe. On Friday, I did get a lawyer, and they let me know in my state there was nothing I could do as far as custody before the babies are born. So I'll be leaving my state soon to ensure this isn't my baby's home state and I can't be charged with anything. However, someone sent this post to Kim and she came to my job, damaged my car, and broke a bunch of office windows. I work with kids, so she was arrested for not just the criminal damage and trespassing, but also child endangerment, so hopefully that works in my favor. Kim was screaming at me about how I stole her life and everything I had was supposed to be hers.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a choice. Do you want to make a comment now, or do you want to make a comment after I show what his answer is?
Go ahead, man.
Huh?
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead with what?
Go ahead
Oh,
and run
what
it.
is-
You
what
go
is
ahead and
answer?
do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, OP. So clearly Kim is nutso, and she gets 4 out of 5 buttholes. That being said, just because Kim is a butthole here doesn't mean that you are not the butthole. Let's be clear about this. Joe has just as much of a right to see those babies as you do. Like, yeah, of course, cut Kim out of the equation. You should get a restraining order against Kim. But the way you're handling this, OP, is that you're moving out of state and you're fighting Joe in court to make sure he doesn't get custody? That's completely unfair to Joe because you're not even giving him a chance to choose the babies over his girlfriend. Lots of guys would happily make that choice, right? I mean, Joe has a right to decide whether or not he wants to be involved in these kids' lives. Obviously, he'd have to break up with Kim first, but still, OP, he has a right to make that choice. Based on this story, it's not clear if you ever even had a conversation with Joe where you're like, "Hey, Joe, so your girlfriend is acting really crazy and she's making me uncomfortable. I do not want this woman around her kid. So you have to choose. It's either her or me and the kids." Instead of having that normal conversation with him, you're gonna move out of state and take him to court? Come on, OP, that's just not fair. If I were in Joe's shoes, I would happily choose my own flesh and blood kids over some girl who I've been dating for less than 9 months. OP, this is gonna sound harsh, but Joe has rights too. If you continue down this path and completely cut Joe out of the equation, then I'm also giving you 4 out of 5 buttholes. But if you take a step back and at least give Joe the opportunity to break up with his girlfriend, then I'll give you 0 out of 5 buttholes.
Of all the dumb shit, I'm gonna start with whoever this dude is, the Reddit cat. All right. Now, first of all, this goes back to what y'all was saying a little earlier in the show about, the anonymous shit. Obviously, the shit ain't always anonymous because she was able to track down the post and do, act crazy. Because she said she tracked down this post, right? But maybe she put too much of her specifics in there and they were able to track it back.
Yeah.
But the dude, whoever the dude, I don't know what to call him, right? The host?
The host.
The host. He dumb as dog shit, man. Because, I mean, look, she's not cutting him out and she's not trying to take away his rights. In fact, by putting it through the courts, she's making sure his rights are actually enumerated. And he, as a man, and I know people don't like when I talk like that, but whatever. But as a man, he has fallen down on his duties because he should have stepped up all the way through this process because these are going to be your children, dude. So you should have been the one at the appointments if anybody's going to the appointments. Your girlfriend never should have been going. And then that things they were off kilter. So why weren't you asserting yourself to keep the peace, to keep things separate? So I got a problem with Joe on that level. To me, he wasn't living up to his basic responsibilities. And then the mother, the future mother, she's doing what she's doing. I mean, you dealing with a situation where the father, you don't have a problem with the father of your children, but you do have a serious problem with the woman he's might be marrying, who is obviously projecting onto you. Like she's treating you, like you said, as a surrogate, like you just bringing the children for her. And so unfortunately, to cut her out, you have to distance Joe. But the way that the host was like, you should have a normal conversation about it's her or it's me and the kid. It ain't about you. So your whole advice, the advice was just dumb. Like, this is just dumb. This woman then defaced property, lied about situations, forced herself into very private experiences. Nah, she right. Get up out that town, get out that state if that's what you need to do. Assert your rights, and go from there.
I don't have anything to add to that because I agree 100%. That's why I put this video up, because this is the first time that, there are situations where I say, I see where you're coming from and everything else. and this is me saying in a minuscule statement, I see where he's coming from. I see where he would come up with that. But I say so minuscule because you took that minuscule thing and you made it larger than what it was without even remembering what the story it is that you just read. You should have told her, hey, your woman is acting crazy, and I think, bruh, how he don't know? How is it that he don't know that this stuff is going on? How
Even
does
if
he
she never
don't
said
know the
anything, you
text
should know.
messages that he is sending her? How is it that you thought it was wonderful and a great and thoughtful idea to go, hey, I'm the father, but I'm going to give my girlfriend. By the way, notice throughout the whole video, he never said fiance.
Nope, not fiance,
Girlfriend.
not wife.
And my girlfriend is going to come. The girlfriend shows up and gives her effing medical history like it means jack squat about what's going on. Yeah, you need to go. Not because it has anything to do with Joe may have a chance to make a decision between the girlfriend and the children. No. Joe has already made his decision between the girlfriend and the children. And this, again, I can't.
Whoa.
Again, I'm going to go back to what I said. Dude, you knew there is no way all of this stuff was happening and you didn't know any of it. Joe made the decision.
Yeah, I'm with you now.
Okay.
Because I was like, he didn't choose the girlfriend over his children. Not yet.
Yeah.
Because what was the alternative? Dump her and now what? I mean, being with the mother of the children was never in the equation. So he's in the exact same situation, just minus a girlfriend. Now, he could say, okay, I don't want her to have to move out of state. So that would be like his reacting to her decision, right? To the mother's decision. And you can say, you know what? If it means keeping my children in the same state where I have more access to them, then Susie, you got to go, right? That's one thing, but that's still kind of dirty because like that's the mother forcing him into that particular situation. And this may sound very antiquated, I imagine, but it's too late now. But I'm one of them people that looks at it and say, fellas, the only real way to protect your rights as a father to your children is to be married to their mother. Because now you have certain rights and privileges that are tied in that can't nobody mess with. But it's too late for that because you would have had to do the relationship before the children. Right? So if the children are on their way and you marry her for the children, then you've kind of doomed your relationship that way as well. So that's not healthy. Yep. So you gotta, yeah.
This is why I said what I said. That the dude made the decision already.
Oh, that part's just crazy.
And that's why I said, this is why I said what I said about the dude already made a decision that the girlfriend is over the kids. And I excuse me. And I'm not saying he don't care about the kids. That's not what I'm saying. He does care about the kids, but he need to, like Dash said. Dash said a while back, you need to. It's here, and you're not seeing the open thing. It's too much here that you can't see that. Yeah, why is your girlfriend throwing a gender reveal party? Why is your girlfriend throwing a baby shower? Why is the mother? And I can't use that with Tracy. I get that one. That is crazy too, because that was after the effect. But yeah, you should also saw that it was going downhill with. Good God, you need to give us one of them. Like,
Split the baby.
what is you
Yeah,
talking
but the first
about?
part, Marlon, there is like if he does not like you're saying, like he's too close to it, right? So
Yeah.
you can't really see how all the pieces are coming together. He's just reacting from one moment to the next. So he's not catching it. But if he's in that mode, then I can see how he would miss. I see how he could miss the gender reveal and the baby shower, because who's to say that the father shouldn't be able to have those? So the girlfriend could try to sell it to him that way. You know, these are your babies too, and we want to celebrate you being a father and blah, blah, blah. But reality is she's living in this weird fantasy world, and she's trying to pretend as though it's not what it is. Like,
But-
she's trying to pretend like this woman is just having the baby for them.
Yeah, and that's what I get what you're saying. I think, and probably because I'm using logic, and I try not to use logic, but I can't help it. But I think my logic would have been, why can't you have a gender reveal party, honey? You should have a gender reveal. You're the father. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. So, you know, when are we gonna have it so I can let the mother who's actually giving birth to the freaking damn children some time to get herself together? No, she's not invited.
I mean, I feel you. I mean, we can't make sense out of a nonsensical situation.
No.
But even within that, though, you know, it's not uncommon that the father is not invited to the mother's events.
Who is jealous though? Who's jealousy of? Because if you're saying the girlfriend is jealous,
The girlfriend is very jealous.
the girlfriend is
Delusional.
take this for delusional, but she has a mental illness, and I didn't. She had a breakdown, and I know what the breakdown was, and I could tell you exactly when I knew what the breakdown was. She had
It's a
a
fertility
breakdown,
issue.
and she found out that she was having twins. How do I know that? Is because she said, "You had the life that was supposed to be mine." In other words, she got the boyfriend. And let's just, go out there. She's in love with the dude. They would eventually go get married and stuff like that. But she can't get pregnant. The other girl could, as she is. So in her mind, you took a part of her dream to have children with the man that she's in love with.
But see, that would be the trail I think she was on before the psychotic or psychic break, right? Because like the normal reasoning would be what you just said, right? You're a woman that the two of you don't even have any kind of relationship, so I can find a way to accept that. But now you're about to give him something that I wish I was able to give
That's what
him,
I mean. Yeah.
right? So that I think could be like the normal track. But then the break is when, well, maybe this is all for the good. Maybe this is you having the babies for us, right?
That was the break.
That was the. So
Because
she needs help. But
she started. I think the pivot for her, the break was, I'm pregnant. That was the beginning, I guess you could say. That was the beginning of the break. So she didn't break. The breaking part started coming when she just, look, I'm not a surrogate. We, in this world here, heard, hey, look, I'm not a surrogate, which means I'm not giving you these kids.
Yeah, I'm not
You're
having
not
them for you.
giving them. I'm not going to have the babies and give them to you. That's not what she heard.
No, that's because everybody in her world
Mhm.
has been trying to keep her calm and happy.
Yep.
See, the one who's having the babies, she has no attachment to this woman. So she's like, whoa. I live in reality and you can come out here and hang out with me. And maybe you'll be a great stepmother. But that's right. That's where we're at. But see, on the other side, she's probably so wrapped up in this. Is similar to the sister baby situation we had in the past. She's so deep in this thing that people are just trying to coddle her and help get her through it.
Yeah, okay.
And they don't understand, how far to take it. So they're just going to keep kind of trying to keep her, between the rails. And then hopefully when the babies do get here, she'll settle into reality and she'll be able to cope from there. But we just got to get her there, right? Where the problem is, this is a deep emotional trauma. And I don't know, maybe we say it too often, or maybe it's not said enough, but she needs someone that can help her. She needs whatever form of therapy or counseling there is. Like, I'm not real big on everybody needs counseling, but at some point you might, and I know that if you follow what I'm saying, I'm saying that it's not always the solution, but sometimes it is. And this is one of those times that I think, yes, she needs something better equipped and better trained than what you can naturally do as a family member.
How's the girlfriend going to assume that the dude even?
That might have been something they discussed, though.
Yeah, that may be. Yeah, that may be in the works. So that we'll be projecting after that point. But I'm pretty sure that may have come up in conversation.
That don't happen. We got a whole nother situation, buddy.
Yeah, that's another hour talking about crap. Real or nah? Okay, again, as always, I'm going to play the video. The video is pretty long, so I've had to break it down into 3 segments.
It's Return of the Grandma.
It ain't the Return of the Grandma. Man, okay, can we make a promise that by next year you're going to let that grandma go? Really? Hey, let grandma go, man. I'm not, and as always, I don't give you my answer until the end of it. So here is part 1 of the. Okay, I'm gonna play it because my facial expression will give it away. Here's part 1.
And our last story. Okay, this is one juicy, albeit semi-long one, but first, some background info. I'm 55, male, autistic Asperger's, and suffer with Tourette's when hyperexcited or stressed out. I own a graphic design operation and have a gorgeous Downs teenager in the front of the shop, which I adore and treat like a daughter. The front of the shop is a little too tight for my power chair, which is why I always use the rear entrance. Now to the story. So I showed up a little late for an interview with a prospective manager, and as I pulled into the disabled area outside the shop, a woman came up to me demanding why I was parked in the disabled bay, as clearly I wasn't disabled. So I pulled out the blue badge and put it in the window and ignored her silly rant. It's fake, obviously. It's a fake. I'm reporting you to the police. Fine, go ahead. I'll wait here. And I smiled sweetly to her. Soon enough, the police arrived and asked what the commotion was about. Karen told them I was blatantly disregarding the laws and parking in the disabled bay. I asked the nice officer if I could exit my vehicle and explain. I pressed the button on my console and the boot popped open. Then I began to drive my power chair out the back and down the ramp. Karen's jaw dropped so far she almost had to retrieve it from the pavement. Anything else? The nice officer asked the Karen before walking away.
Okay. And I'm not going to ask any questions because we've already discussed on here. We need context. We just can't take parts of whatever and form an evaluation and answer to everything. So we're just going to roll into part 2.
So now the juicy bit starts. I drive my chair around the corner and into the rear of the shop, per usual, and set up, ready for the interview, leaving a red-faced Karen sputtering red-faced with the officer. Soon after I settle down, I hear the shop door open and a customer arrived. I can hear Janet welcome the person with the usual greeting. Hello and welcome to shop name. Please feel free to look around if you need anything. Feel free to ask and I'll endeavor to be of service. Not another effing one was screeched. You should all be aborted and less of a burden on this country. Obviously, Janet was taken aback and sputtered out in, excuse me? You're all the effing same. No brain and all drain. I'm here for the interview, and the first thing I'm going to do is fire your useless butt and get someone competent instead. Now, go and get your boss, as some jerk muffin caused me to be late. By then, I'd heard enough and called out to Janet to show the person through. I could hear her barge past and arrive at my office. The look on her face when the jerk muffin, as she so eloquently spoke of, was the interviewer, smiling sweetly enough to give her a cavity, I waited until the color finished draining out of her before letting her know how I felt about her. Hello, Miss or Mrs. Please take a seat. I hear you have a great resume and are exceptional at managing a business and customer service. Now, please tell me, who the F do you think you are coming over all high and mighty? Yes, I did hear you berating Janet and telling her she was going to be replaced as soon as you get hired. Well done, genius. You win first prize, which is absolutely effing nothing. Now get out. And if I see you in here again, I will not be able to restrain myself. But, no effing buts. Get out, or you'll be arrested for trespassing. I think she broke the land speed record exiting my establishment. Oh well, maybe the next applicant will sue.
Okay, I effing lied. I'm sorry. I apologize. I effing lied. This is some bullshit on a bullshit level that I haven't seen no bullshit level be. Okay? Sorry, but not sorry. And and the first story could possibly be true. I've witnessed a-holes who, for some strange reason, have a butt hurt over people using the handicap and everything, faking everything. Thanks, Trump. But
it was before him.
I know. I still just like to blame him, though. But the deal is this. This is why I said this is BS. There is no person who is that much of a Karen. And believe me, I've read all the stories. I've heard all the stories. There is no Karen who's going to scream at the top of their lungs at a down person who's at the front desk. Oh, not you again. I'm going to get rid of you as soon as really, lady? So I'm going to play as if this is real. So you are that stupid because you think, because the guy said the place wasn't that big. So you don't think the boss who has hired the down lady to be the receptionist could not hear you say as soon as you get hired, you're going to fire her. pretty much saying you made a bad hire because she's handicapped. So I'm gonna fix it for you. Get somebody normal up in here to make this. Come on, man. Come on. I know stupid is. I played a lot of idiotic people on here, but no. A Karen's mentality has always been the same. I'm going to treat you like crap, and then when I get in front of authority, I'm going to play the victim card. That shows, no, she's not going to yell and scream and all that other stuff out loud. So whisper it, yes. If you'd have left it at that, sure. They're not going to yell it out loud. They're just not going to do it. So, Diz, go ahead, because I still have a third one.
No, I agree with you, because the whole thing is fake. It's just to stir up some more irritation with the Karens of the world, because it's like, it was just, I don't know, it was just so over the top, and it just didn't make enough sense at any point, really, because first you're berating someone who's still sitting inside of a van, so that doesn't make sense. And then the thing with the yelling at the young lady with a disability, that didn't make sense. So I think it was just something that, like, I'm going to tell this story, and people, they can believe something like this would happen because we all know those Karens, and that's what I think it was.
It's an overblown Karen story. Put it that way. Here's the third story that just cements my my answer.
Kit will suit. Edit. You are not going to believe this, but believe it or not, there's more to come. So I just got back to my establishment from our local supermarket, still crying with fury and laughter at what just happened. I took Janet to get her food with mine, so I closed up the shop when we went to get food for us. And who do you think we see at the store? Yep, it was Karen. Now, I'm not someone who's known to hold a grudge for long, so I smiled sweetly in her direction and waved. She went paler than my sheets and hurried off. Well, it was her loss at the end of the day. A few minutes later, while we were at the deli counter, lo and behold, security arrived with Karen in tow. There they are, pointing to us. They're the ones who verbally assaulted me, and I demand that they're escorted out and banished from here. Now the security guard looks at me and Janet in bewilderment and asks what happened. Before I can explain, Karen butts in with the old, "I already told you" routine. "Get the manager here now. I demand you give me a huge discount for the stress you and these people are doing to me." Well, I nodded slightly to him and said, "Please do." After about 8 minutes or so, the manager arrived and looked at me and Janet. Before he could say anything, I said that this lady had a complaint regarding us and your retail outlet. Well, cue Karen's dirge and "oh, woe is me" lecture about how me and Janet's disgraceful behavior towards her was so upsetting that she had to go get security to escort us from the premises. The manager looked at her with a look of, "What are you smoking?" Well, should we look at the CCTV footage and take it from there? Janet couldn't help herself anymore and says, "Hi, Daddy." The second time this week, Karen needs to retrieve her chin from the floor, sputters something almost intelligible, and storms off. "Don't come back now, you hear?" Manager called after her. I can't wait for an episode 3 if there is one.
So in case you missed it, the secretary, the one who has Down syndrome, just so happened to be the daughter of the manager of the grocery store. And they just so happened to run into the Karen at again.
You know, it's really sad. When the truth just isn't good enough, so you have to go and create a whole new level of lies and distortions. Like, we have enough video of Karens being, over the top. But this particular story, they made sure to lay it on so thick because I can't remember exactly how it started, but it had to do with I have Asperger's, autism, and physically disabled with a power chair. I've known a few people with Asperger's, and they're not, at least the ones I've met, aren't physically disabled. So they're putting as much into the story. I mean, can these scenarios occur? Sure. But they put it all in there. It's like when you are in college and you're late for your test and you're like, well, we had a tire out. Well, it was two tires. It was two tires, and
I know this.
and then we ended up going off the road and had to wait for a tow truck, and then the tow truck got stuck because it got a flat tire. So it's like that kind of thing where it's like you just throwing so much at it. You like, come on. Even if you're telling the truth, I gotta think you lying.
And here's, you say it's crazy, and I agree with you. But you know how I feel about stories that's just made up, especially on certain topics. That I always say it's dangerous because certain stories should not be made up because it waters down the serious things that are happening. You can't be doing these things for clicks and likes.
Yeah, that's why people look at me sideways and I'm like, you can't call everything racism. Everything's not racism. If you call everything racism, then nothing is racism. So stop it. Okay, thank you, Parker.
Okay.
But yeah, it's when you overuse things to the point you mix things up, it's just not, you end up taking away. Now, hey, like I said, there is some thread of reality that all this could have happened.
But it's a thread.
Right. So I can't entirely dismiss it. I can say that I don't think it's real. I just think it was just way too much in there. It's like when someone has a problem with, a member of another ethnic group, so they layer every trope they can in the telling of the story to kind of get you on their side a little bit more. I'm like, dude, I'd be on your side if you just told me the truth.
I've already said that, and I know that it sounds like I'm being wrong when I said it, but I always agree with it that was always my thought process on bigotry, racism, and everything else. Is there a hint of truth for people to act like a bigot and a racist? Yeah. However, they take that and put that a whole assumption on the whole entire race. And that's what create, well, you know. So when you say that black people eat fried chicken, haha, that's a funny joke. I'm just throwing something out there. Haha, that's fun. Yeah, that's true. What's your damn point? Because you're not saying some, you're saying all, and then you try to use it as a joke. So I don't know if that was to belittle the whole race.
It's just too much in there. Just way too much in there.
It was too much information in that. Plus the fact of the matter is three times. Three back to back.
Might be another one of them small towns.
Yeah, you notice how they always keep that too, though. I keep an eye out for it, that it always happen at these small towns we only have 100 people in the whole town.
No, because you think about that first story that we were dealing with the lady who was like way over the top, is from a small town, and obviously he was too, which is funny that he's talking about her being from a small town. But when things started happening, the way he was laying it out, he in a small town as well.
He was
You know, because usually small towns are next to small towns. But anyway, yeah, it just seemed like it was just way too much going on there. Yeah.
Nah, Tracy, it wasn't never gonna go that far. It's very rare on these stories. Very rare. I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen, but it's once in a blue moon where a Karen actually realizes she's a Karen and apologizes or my bad or something like that. The best case scenario you can get is even with a Karen, and I don't even want to put those stories on because it's so stupid. It's always "I don't work here" lady stories.
Yeah, it's like it's either going to end with Karen gets her comeuppance, or look how bad she is, right? And it's just feeding more.
It's not even
of
that. It's always
the hysteria.
it's always the even when she apologizes, it's either two things. Either she gonna say, "I apologize," and walk off real quickly with it's not a freaking apology, you're just embarrassed. Or they come up with a reason why they misunderstood that you're there. Well, you shouldn't dress the way that you dress, so I wouldn't have never get. And it's like I'm
Those
not
are like your
going
more
for it.
realistic situations. I'm talking about the ones where you're just basically just feeding the echo chamber. Like if you are in a thread or a group that is anti-white, then at some point the stories always end up feeding into more of a justification why you don't like these white people. Or you're in a thread that's anti trans. At some point it's going to feed into, you know what I mean? It's like, so this is an anti-Karen story. So at some point it's going to keep feeding you into, look how bad these Karens are. And I'm not trying to stick up for Karens, but it's just
It feeds the popularity.
don't overuse it. You know,
It's feeding into the popularity of Karens.
Yeah, it's feed into that. Like you're just riding the trend.
Yeah.
And at the end of those stories, a real, not in this case, probably, but there's real people out there. And sometimes the reason why a Karen exists is because they've been entitled or coddled or sheltered way too much. So they're acting out of their ignorance, and then someone else is on the receiving end of it. And it's tragic and it's sometimes funny, but it's still, I don't know. I kind of got off track there. I just think this was unnecessary. I guess I'll put it that way.
It's an unnecessary story. All right. Fotsy's videos of the week. And you will all be happy to not only have two of them tonight. One was from last week when Diaz wasn't on the show. I just want to get his perspective on it. The other one is an old video that I also want to get Theo's perspective on it because I already have his perspective video on it. And I think Mickey brought it up as why I never showed this video before. And I was kind of like, I'm letting I wanted to let the heat die down on the video. I just didn't want to be among the crowd. And I tried to have a certain I can't even say the word. I try to be a little less crass on my show. Like I don't feel like I want to show any and everything just to get a rise out of people and stuff like that, or oh my god, that's funny. And I think I accomplished both, but I think it's time to, show the video. Plus, Plus, I'm cleaning out everything in my file. So, yeah, this is one of the things I want to clean out too to get it over with. So, strippers at a nursery home. So, in case you missed the beginning of what it was saying that the nursing home is apologizing to people for having a stripper at the nursing home. I'm just going to say it this way. The only people that has a complaint, I'm sure, about this stripper at the nursing home is not at the nursing home. These are outside people who, this is what degrading, this is bad, whatever your reason it being is. Without the understanding, which organization has the largest reports of STDs?
Oh, stop it.
Look it up. Look it up.
They don't have the highest rate. They
They
just have
have
an accelerating
the
rate.
highest reported. This is reported. Now, if you want me to go deeper, I can say, well, that would be that. No.
But just because someone strips does not mean that they have sex with people.
I never
That they-
no. Oh,
You
no,
drew
no.
a weird distinct this weird bridge.
No,
This bridge.
no. Okay. I'll connect it because I know what the people are saying is that you have a stripper at the place, and oh my God, that's gonna hurt people.
Inappropriate.
You're gonna have a heart attack. Oh my God, this is you should stimulate people like that. That's terrible, and that's just unethical. That's the word I've been trying to find for the longest time because I'm pretty freaking sure that word was used several times from several people. Unethical. And I was pointing out the STD situation for this point. Yeah, they're going to do it regardless if that stripper was there or not. It's totally irrelevant. It's happening.
I'm not interested in the ancients'
Oh my
penile exploration
my
activities.
God.
Oh, don't get bashful now. You're the one that want to go down here and talk about
I
this.
ain't call them ancient. Jeez.
They're ancient. But here's my thing. Okay. So I ain't got a whole lot. But so see, where you could get some complaints that would be legitimate is odds are if they're in a retirement home for seniors of that age, then they have powers of attorney. So you should not arrange such an activity without the consent of their power of attorney.
Why?
So that's one part.
Wait a minute, but why?
Because the power of attorney is responsible for their care medically, physically, financially, in all aspects. It's like having a child. So
I get that, but what I'm
why.
asking is, if they have bingo night, are you going to ask them, hey,
might
can
not
we
be
have
considered
bingo
an
night?
issue. Huh?
Now I said, if they have bingo night, are you going to ask people with the power of attorney, hey, can we have bingo night?
Well, no, but it should be in the documentation as far as what type of activities you do host.
Okay.
So it may not be all the way down to that level. You know what I mean? But I don't see how, as a business, you could say, well, it's just like bingo. You know,
No, no.
you know, you just fill on a booby here or there. You know,
Are you serious, Tracy?
you didn't notice there weren't any women in there, so
Yeah, the nurses.
but what about the men in there who prefer men, and they didn't have a dancer? I guess somebody should find out if they have complaints. I'm just saying, Mickey. Mickey. No, but it's
Oh, gracious.
But those
Nikki, I love you. I
young
really
ladies
do.
were doing a public good, and it is what it is. Hopefully no one got overly excited and had a medical event. I can't. I got nothing. It's just Mickey.
Oh my God, Mickey. Okay, so we're gonna move on to a video that I showed last week. This wasn't on the show, so yeah, I'm not gonna take anybody. I'm not gonna take us down because it was that short. But I just want to get Thea's thought on this video.
With voters. When it comes to the state of Pennsylvania, why did Dr. Oz lose? Well, it looks like, according to the exit polling, it's because Fetterman won.
Gotta love that deep, insightful commentary. The part they just kind of swept right under the rug is, yes, they talk about how the Trump candidates overwhelmingly lost, right? But the media just glossed right past that there were no cries of a rigged election. Did you notice that? They just kind of moved right on by that one. Yeah. Now, granted, there's like two municipalities in Arizona.
Kari Lake still did.
Yeah, there's like two municipalities in Arizona that are refusing to even certify the votes. But I'm saying, like, 2020, they said the whole thing was rotten to the core. They were putting in election workers. They were doing extra counts. They made sure this go around. They did it again. They put a lot into this. And then to just say, oh, we lost. It's like, is no one catching that all of this was coordinated on the media level to keep everybody spun up and keep everybody engaged? Now, there's some things that were real, like them attempting to kidnap Governor Whitmer and the attack on the Congress. But the level of fear that the media just kept pumping out there, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, these supposedly horrible people were just like, oh gosh, we lost.
Well, here's the deal. And I knew it was going to happen. I even called that it was going to happen. So I'm going to toot my horn some more. I told everybody that Trump's power was dwindling.
That ain't what it's about, dog. It ain't about Trump.
It is about Trump. No, it is, and I'm gonna prove it to you. Because when Trump was doing all this crap about stolen elections and blah 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 and everything else, when it was working, everybody was a little puppet. Yeah, let's use that. And then, and I'm not giving any credit to you people that was using it, because you was blittering morons. You used it and it worked until it didn't work. And if as much as everybody, and I've gotten some emails and some And how you like, ha ha, Trump is going, the people are turning on Trump, ha ha, blah blah blah, and everything else. And I was like, you really not catching this, are you? What do you mean? They're not turning on Trump because the people lost. They're turning on Trump because Trump is a loser. If Trump stuff was still working, they'd have been kissing Trump's butt as they've done for the longest time. But since that crap is not working no more, and since you can't take it upon yourself to go that we was fooled into using the same crap that he was using, he's not popular no more. So let's turn on Trump.
I differ
Let's
here. I
show
don't
them
think
that we was
anybody was
always on
fooled.
the people's side.
I don't think any of the people, any of the movers and shakers were fooled. This is all voluntary and well thought out. And
Well, I'm talking about the
calculated.
lower tier people. McConnell and them was not. McConnell.
Yeah, I mean, like
he was the smartest one of the whole group.
your Trump
He was smart,
enthusiasts that are, showing up at the rallies. Yeah, okay. I still don't even think they were really fooled. But what I'm saying is like, it's not about Trump. It's the same thing I've been saying for over a year now. Trump he was a useful tool for the same energy that made him, right? The energy of the Tea Party continued to morph, and it helped create Trump because Trump was drinking that same toxic mess, which is why he went against Obama as hard as he did for no real good reason, and then used that to catapult himself to come behind Obama, right? But it was the people who were using Trump. And then Trump, realizing he was being used and being a master manipulator himself, started using people back to get all the money, all the connections, and all the stuff, because he's addicted to that stuff. So he's like, hey, I'll give you whatever you want. I will continue to deal you this dope. I'll deal you this good stuff. You just make sure I still get what I need, right? And then it started to wane once he's out of power. See, once you're out of power, the reality starts to set in, even though you try to keep the show going. And now they have a viable alternative. So they're like, well, maybe now we'll pivot to DeSantis. But if you notice, they're still not going all in.
No.
They're still doing like this little halfway thing because they know that the Republican primary is going to be full of Trump adherents. So you got those. Then you also have the situation of if more than 4 people run for president on the Republican side, Trump might win again. So they're hedging their bets, So it's like, but my big frustration here is how all the media, the major media, literally work together, and they've done this for decades. Like they literally work together. You ever notice they all have the same major story at the same time?
Yeah.
They don't. It's not like one's talking about Beirut and the other one's talking about Ukraine. Everybody comes together and it's like, this is what we're running with.
Yeah, it's they did it on one of the shows where they was showing somebody who apparently has too much time on his hands. Bless your heart, you're doing a good thing, but I'm just saying I don't have the fortitude to do it. Where they chart what major stories is always on Fox News. So they chart how many stories is made of this, how many stories is made of this, how many stories is made of this. And they noticed that the trend was crime in America.
Right.
And at some point they had
it has a racial and an economic value.
Yeah. They had 150 something stories about it, all the way up to the midterm. When the midterm happened, they didn't get the red wave. And let me go back a little bit. Y'all didn't lose. y'all have the house, so the category of y'all lost is just hilarious at me. You didn't lose, but you felt like you lose is because you, as you always steal everything, red wave, blue wave, you didn't get that red wave that you thought you was going to get.
No, they lost because even by a modest indicator, they should have done better. And the only reason they didn't was abortion.
Yep.
It's the only reason. You got the Supreme Court you wanted. They gave you what you said you wanted.
The dog caught the back of
there you go.
The dog caught the car.
Now what you black folks still ain't showing up at the level we need to vote for our interests. We still ain't doing it. The Latinos, y'all acting just like us. So I'm like, hey, this is unfortunate, people. These are self-inflicted injuries that we're dealing with. Because in the next election cycle, maybe the women will save us again. But women have been saving us for the last 10 years.
The younger generation did.
No, run the numbers. The younger generation, they showed up, but they were even the younger generation were off of the 2018 level. So
I understand that, but you do understand that they're so butthurt from losing that they literally talked about trying to raise the
I agree.
age to 21.
But that's what
I get
Republicans and conservatives do.
They also some idiot. Oh, I already saw the video that the women these single women,
they should get married and it'll be okay. But that's what Republicans and conservatives do, right? When they had all the police killings, they haven't stopped. It's just not getting coverage, right? Because it's not the season.
No,
right? The season is something else right now. It's a political season, so they're doing something else. But when we had always constant coverage of black men being murdered by police, what were some of the changes that the law enforcement and the state legislatures were pushing? It wasn't get more body cameras. It wasn't get more social or was it local oversight? It was none of that. It was crack down on videotaping, crack down on the protesters and the street advocates. That was the response. It wasn't fix the problem. It was fix who was telling on them.
Right.
That's what they do. So right now they're like, okay, from a Republican conservative standpoint, what's our base? Our base is 50-year-olds and older and white. Like that's the part.
Yes.
That's the part. And historically, young white liberals grew up to be old white conservatives. Historically. But the reason why that was, in my opinion, is because our economic system would eventually elevate those young white liberals into an economic status commonly held by older white conservatives. But the baby boomer generation, instead of keeping the system going, they ripped all the money out of it. So now these young white people are not growing up to become conservatives. They're having a really big problem right now. They're having such an issue because they're not having the same the level of church attendance.
It's down by 50%.
Which helps. Yep. That helps keep part of that thing going. The economic way isn't working. You're not just automatically getting a better job and better pay just because you're white. So as America really starts to blend more, they're losing the ability to backfill their voters. So what do you have to do? Do you try to appeal to more people of color? No. What we need to do is make it harder for people of color to vote.
Stack the deck. Yeah.
And make it harder for young people to vote since they don't know what's good for them and they're not switching over. And that's how they're going to try to run it. And then people are like, well, that's not a very good play long term. No, that's not their long-term play. Their long-term play will follow after they are able to mute so much of the base or so much of the voting group. They will have put things in place where no Democrat can even win office. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how integrated society gets.
I said this the last time, and I'm glad that some people listened. We dodged a bullet. I don't know about the next 2 years.
Yeah, we bought some time. That's all.
That's all we did. We bought. Thank you, Thea. Thank you. We bought time. But I literally said it, and I'm gonna say it this time in the next election. If you let the Republicans take over the House and the Senate and the presidency, I don't know when you're gonna get the Democrats in again. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Because they're gonna step the deck as much as they possibly can to make sure ain't no Democrats coming back. Or at the very least, it ain't the Democrats that you think is for you.
All right.
Because they're gonna get another Christian cinema in there, some type of way, Joe Manchin, some type of way in there. That's gonna
they'll
play
believe that
either
the
the
only
right
way
of the right or the middle right.
Yeah, because they'll believe the only way to get elected is to be as close to being a Republican as possible. But
Exactly.
here's the sad thing. Well, not sad thing. So my midterm position was we had to overload the system, make sure you're voting, get people to understand how voting can work, just let people see how state level and county level and local level elections are important to them, and which was done a lot this go round. Not enough, but a lot. If not for the abortion thing, like I said, it would have been bad. But the next election is a presidential election. Well, the presidential election. I'm actually currently in the position of withhold the vote. I don't care if a Republican gets the presidency, so long as you keep them from having both of the houses, both of the chambers, I mean, because we're losing opportunities to make the Democratic Party pay attention to its voters. Like, we're losing time here. So if you want to get their attention, there's no time like the present, where we need to develop voting blocks where, hey, like they do with the Cuban community down in Florida, right? Do that similarly across the country. You make sure that if you want to get the black vote, you're going to have to go and talk to our brokers. You know, hate to name these names, but these are probably the guys who are best positioned to do this right now. But Roland Martin, the Nation of Islam, because I'm not sure who minister is going to place, but a minister doesn't really get involved in politics, so that's a whole nother thing. But you get some of the big brokers so that you end up with like 4-5 little fiefdoms, so to speak, where they can say, look, I can deliver to you 80,000 votes. But here's what you got to do. And see, we have to get to where we play the game like that. That's what, when we look at some of the other communities who have a lot more political leverage, like the Asian community, which currently out-earns the white community, so they have that leverage. The Jewish community, which owns a lot of very important business areas and infrastructure across the country, they're able to play that particular thing. We don't hold the assets, so we can't play it the same way. But if we would just organize, we could be like, look, you know, that football, basketball, movies, singing, all that stuff you like. We on strike.
Yeah, it all seems to come down to organization, and we've always had an issue with that. And I'm gonna pull a page out of this. We always want to run on emotion without the understanding that emotions dwindle. I said this about the George Floyd situation, so it bears repeating.
The situation of murder.
that would have went under all the other murders if it wasn't for the pandemic.
Yep.
It really just would have.
It had to be perfect.
We've had similar murders before that. We've had similar murders after that. And we was able to organize because we had nothing effing better to do.
And it was perfect. Like
Yeah.
literally perfect. You had multiple video angles. You had the type of witnesses they told us you always have to have. I mean, it was literally perfect as far as being able to build a case, and it almost failed. Yeah. And the House, unfortunately, tilts Republican way because of gerrymandering, but Democrats gerrymander too. And I think more Republican seats are at play in the House next go round too. So it could end up being where the Dems get the House and the Senate goes. But see, the great thing about the Senate though is it's like the only thing we still have left that's majority rules. So there's some states you can't do nothing with because they're already like 90% conservative. Like you just ain't nothing you can do. But there are other states where if you could just engage people, engage young people, and engage some of the other groups, you could actually swing these elections. But the Democrats refuse to talk, not just talk policy, but actually perform policy. They refuse. They always get right up to the line, and then it's like, I'm like, damn it, sometimes get in the fight and lose. Can you at least fight? I'm like, I'll respect you if you lose, if you fought. But I can't hear you, Marlon.
Muted myself. That's some of the things that kills me is, man, spend less time on Twitter. We get how you feel. That's wonderful. Where's the policy? Well, I don't think it's going to pass. So what? I'm sorry. I try to be rude. I don't give a rat's ass about your opinion. Then I just don't.
Yeah,
if you don't have a policy
Prove
to
it.
back up what your statement is, and your statement is absolutely 100% correct. I'm not even arguing that your policy, that your opinion is correct. I'm arguing that that's all it is. Until you put a policy together to back up your opinion, it's just an opinion. And
Until you do something,
changing the freaking world.
Right. I mean, get out there and fight. Like you just decide for this 60 days, we going all the stuff that might be happening around us, we going all in on the child tax credit. That's all we doing. And if anybody on our party doesn't toe the line, we gonna put them on Front Street and we gonna drag them too. Do that. You may still lose.
But you fought.
But you did something. See, part of what, because right now the Democrats do is they don't fight hard enough, long enough. So, like, Democrats love to say stuff like, well, we got the child tax credit passed. And I'm like, yeah, you did. And then you're also the same party that got it taken away. So, for those of us out here in the streets trying to get Black people, young people, people in the queer community to just vote for you guys one more time. Give us something.
I'll give you an example of what we're saying. I'll give you an example. And I hate saying this because everything else that she's done has been god awful. Her father's been god awful. It is what it is, but whatever. Ha ha ha! Liz Cheney gonna lose cause of blah 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 and everything else. Dude, Liz Cheney been in this game longer than you probably been more. She knew she was gonna lose. She knew that. Come on, folks. That was a calculated risk, and calculated may have been like pushing it at that point. She knew she was gonna lose.
No, I'm saying it was calculated from the standpoint of, see, people talk about these characters like they us. You know, like she's a Cheney. Okay. They own like half that state. They got more money than they could mess up and spend. Right? So for her, what's a house seat?
What loser means? Yeah.
My dad was the vice president. I gotta beat that. So I have a house seat. How do I move from here? There's only a moment's time. This is where you got to be a really good politician to see your moment. Because she knew she had to be the first never Trumper to go all in. Because if she was the third, if she was even the second, because Kinzinger, right? In a way, he was like first, but he was first, but announced his retirement. So yeah, as soon as he did his retirement thing, they were like, all right, cool. We're gonna look at the one who actually has something to lose. So that pushed her forward. And then she did the damn thing. She went out there and she worked her butt off and did what she was supposed to do. But that's so that if Trump does decide to stay in this, because there's no guarantee he is, but if he decides to stay in this, that's when she can come in and run against him. Because part of her mission is to make sure Trump never wins again. And she will run for president to make that happen. And she's the only one that I can think of that would be able to take votes away from both the Democrats and the Republicans. So she would have all the never Trumpers. She'd have a chunk of independents, and she would have a chunk of Democrats who would love to have a Republican they could vote for. They just haven't had one that's not crazy in a long time. She fits the bill. And then the Democrats are hungry for a woman to have a chance to be president. So she's like the perfect storm of conservative horribleness. But her voting record doesn't matter to the larger population. To us, it matters because we pay attention. But to the larger thing, she's a woman. She showed grit. She is polished. She knows the game. She fought when nobody else said she could win. There you go. Wonderful story. And people like her, unlike the last one.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody like Hillary.
This, everybody, when they can find you.
ComplexSimpleMan.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our show for tonight. We will see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for Saturday Night Vibes. And the only reason I'm even doing this is because I'm really, really tired.
Ted Cruz. Oh, your boy, he testified allegedly. He probably ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Until I hear a whole bunch of just a minute, I'll wait until I get another report on that. So until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace. Ted Cruz sucks.